Good evening, black people and all allies fighting for black liberation, black prosperity, and black joy. I'm Charles Blow, and welcome to Prime. The Department of Justice sued Texas today over the state's new Republican redistricting plan. The lawsuit alleges Texas lawmakers, quote, refused to recognize the state's growing minority electorate, which was responsible for 95% of the state's population growth over the last decade. The suit claims Texas violated the Voting Rights Act by intentionally eliminating a Latino electorate opportunity in Congressional District 23. The congressional map also, quote, surgically excised minority communities from the core of the Dallas-Fort Worth area by attaching them to rural white communities up to 100 miles away. The lawsuit marked the DOJ's first major intervention into the redistricting campaign Republicans are waging across the country. And in states like Georgia, North Carolina, and Texas, their power grab comes at the expense of black voters and voters of color. Joining me now to discuss is Texas Representative Jasmine Crockett. So Jasmine, you've been on the show a million times. This is one of the things that I think people wanted to have happen. How do you feel about what the Justice Department is doing here?
Well, I'm excited that the DOJ has stepped in. Obviously, we've been ringing the alarms for quite some time. Those of us that started this fight back in, I guess, May of this year, when we decided to leave Texas and go to DC for the first time, many people thought it was just voting rights, but you can't talk about voting rights without talking about redistricting. And we knew that the next phase of this fight was going to be redistricting. That is why we have consistently urged Congress to do something. We need legislation, and we needed it like yesterday. There are portions of the Voting Rights Act that still stand. So I do applaud the DOJ for stepping in and making sure that they're trying to do everything that they can to correct what Texas has done incorrectly. We know that we've talked about the fact that Texas can't help itself from being intentionally discriminatory. And so as we fought on the floor, I don't know how many times myself and a number of my colleagues kept reminding them, you do realize that we're only getting 2 new congressional seats because of these people of color that moved to Texas, and they seemingly just wanted to ignore us and do whatever they wanted to do because the Supreme Court empowered them when they decided to gut the Voting Rights Act. And honestly, the current U.S. Senate has empowered them and emboldened them by not passing voting rights legislation now.
As you know as much as anybody, Texas has been sued over and over and over. I mean, pretty much every time they redistrict, the state of Texas is sued. Not all of those suits are successful, though. How, confident are you that this suit will be successful?
It was just so blatant this time. I mean, like Charles, let me break down the numbers. Over the last decade, we only added a total of 180,000 new Anglos. That's it. Each congressional district in the state of Texas is 766,000 people. Now, how some way they figured out that they could somehow end up with 2 new congressional seats, and they're Anglo seats. We're talking about 1.5 million people. When we do the math, it just doesn't add up. Like, you don't have to be a legislator to understand the writing on the walls. And so, I think it was so blatant that the courts will have to do something, especially since we provided amendments that would actually account for the growth. In fact, Travis County is one of the places they put one of those districts. And Lloyd Doggett is currently running in that new district. Yes, Travis County was messed up. That is true. They needed to fix Travis County, but they didn't need to fix Travis County at the expense of taking away a minority seat in North Texas. In fact, it was my understanding from speaking with my chairman on the House side that we absolutely would draw a new district somewhere in North Texas, which is the Dallas-Fort Worth region. And we would also have a new district that would be in the Fort Bend area. And we didn't get that in North Texas. And it was easy enough to draw a new Latino opportunity seat.
As you say, some people are already running in the seats that they have been assigned with the new maps. Do you think there is enough time on the legislative or judicial calendar for this suit to make its way through the process, assuming that it is successful, through the process in time for the 2022 elections?
So, just so that everyone understands, we start voting on Loving Day, which would be February 14th. That's when early voting starts. Election Day is March 1st, and our filing deadline is a week from today. And so, one of the things that the DOJ asked about in this litigation was for them to actually push back our election day, because you can't know what district you're running in if you don't know the lines. And so, since they are asking that these lines be reevaluated, there is a chance that our primaries could be pushed back. Now, when we went through one of our previous sessions, we've had so many, we did do a staggered calendar that was based upon if the lines are completed by such and such date, then this will change the filing deadlines and it will change election date. We still have plenty of time in the state of Texas, honestly, because we do have our primaries so early that we could actually go ahead and go through our elections as late as probably May or even June if we had to, and we would still have time for runoffs and then still be able to get to our November elections. So technically, there's time if the court decides that that's what it wants to do. Personally, as somebody that's running for Congress right now and already has a few too many people that have signed up, I don't want them to push it back, but that's just a personal issue that I have.
Let's talk about your run. You recently announced that your candidacy for Representative Eddie Byrne Johnson's seat in District 30. This lawsuit takes direct aim at how Republicans redrew those neighboring districts in the Georgia-Fort Worth area. Are you concerned that some of your potential voters may have been pushed into rural Republican areas?
So not mine. So what they did is actually one of my classmates, Jake LZ, who actually won a special election while we were protesting and in DC. So we actually saw him in the halls of DC. Congressional District 6 only was a +3 seat, meaning that Trump had only won that seat by 3 points. Well, they wanted to plus that seat up. And there was a lot of minority growth in the eastern portion of Tarrant County, which is the Fort Worth area, the Arlington area, the Grand Prairie area. And so what they did is they actually removed a number of those minorities and put them into the seat that I'm running for. The seat I'm running for was wholly contained in Dallas County. So they decided to add those minorities over to District 30. And then they just took like a sliver of them and then they ran it out. That seat was maybe 3 counties. Now it's 7 to 9 counties. And they got it going up and getting a little piece of Dallas and a little piece of Tarrant County. And then they're taking it out. And so they're diluting their voices. They really were exhibiting a lot of voting strength. And it doesn't really make sense because the issues that they have in the rural parts, I think Cherokee County is one of the counties, very small county. In fact, a lot of their population that they're accounting for is actually inmates. But that's a whole other issue that I have is these rural counties that are really overrepresented in the state of Texas because they're counting those Black and brown bodies in those prisons instead of where they reside. And when their families need help, they're calling to the representatives in their home counties. But it's a whole other issue and another problem that we have that hopefully we can fix on another day. But in this particular district, what they did is they basically cracked to try to pack some of them over into my district.
The Texas Attorney General tweeted today that the, quote, absurd lawsuit against our state is the Biden administration's latest ploy to control Texas voters. I am confident that our legislature's redistricting decisions will be proven lawful, and this preposterous attempt to sway the democracy will fail. It's funny, right? So, but I am curious as to what you think about their lawsuits only being about the redistricting and not about the voter suppression.
So they, first of all, we have a lot of lawsuits going on in the state of Texas. The DOJ sued us over reproductive rights. They've actually sued us over the voting legislation as well. That was done maybe about a month or so ago. And then they also now are suing us over redistricting. We don't have all the teeth that we need. Everybody thinks you can just go to court and you can win because it's right versus wrong, but it takes legislation. And so what we're needing is the strength of a real Voting Rights Advancement Act known as the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act that somehow has stalled in the U.S. Senate. And we finally got one Republican to get on board. And we know that the Voting Rights Act had been reauthorized year after year after year. In fact, I think the last time it was reauthorized, it was under George Bush, a Texas president, right? And it was unanimous. Everybody was on board. But now everybody's scared because the country itself is getting more colorful. And that is what's so scary. And so now we have cowards amongst the Republican Party that don't want to do what's right. Instead, it's all about maintaining power. And the only way they can see to maintain power is if they cheat, lie, and steal. And that's exactly what we have going on. And so, as you read our Attorney General's tweet, yeah, he's at the top of the list for cheating, lying, and stealing.
Jasmine Crockett, candidate for Congress in Texas's 30th district. Thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.